Melissa, you are connected to the Weyburn Red Wings. What's your role within their club?
All right, so I have two roles within the club. I've been a billet parent since 2017, and I've also been kind of helping out casually on the medical side of things as a physio for, well, this season officially, but prior to COVID, just a little bit with some of the injuries and such.
So, what's that like being a billet parent and a physiotherapist doing that stuff?
It's good. You get to kind of see different sides of things. Yeah, building connections with the team, from the like staffing side of things as well as with the players. Um, this season was a little bit unprecedented, I think, with the amount of injuries that we had. For it being like the first season that I was officially involved with the team, it was a lot. But the learning curve is pretty fast, I guess, when you're kind of thrust into things like that.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
Now, you bring a unique perspective because, I've had the chance to interview a few trainers and things like that. But one of the things we haven't touched on is how important rehab is for these guys when they're going through injuries and like that. Do you find you're having to like really talk to them where some of them are trying to do maybe a little bit more than what they're ready for? Like how does it go when you're talking about injury prevention and rehab stuff with these guys?
Yes. So you kind of try and throw in a little bit of education, um, without it being too much over their heads. I mean, they are young adults. It is important at the high level of athletics that they're involved in that they do gain some knowledge about their bodies and about injuries, injury prevention, listening to warning signs, things like that. Um, but also at the end of the day, like making decisions about readiness to play, return to play, that needs to come from the player themselves, based on our recommendation as a health professional, but kind of just giving them that advocacy, I guess, to make those decisions for themselves.
That'd be huge. We sometimes forget that, that type of support that these boys need, or, even talks within the club about things like this and how important stuff like that is. Because yes, this year, a lot of these clubs saw a lot of people fall to injuries, or, then, there was a struggle with injuries and COVID and everything like that. How did you end up being involved with the Red Wings? What was it, I guess, that would have made you started billeting?
We had a friend of the family who approached us as a player, wanting to live with us a few years back. And then we took a little over a season off, I guess, with COVID and doing a home reno. Yeah. And then so as far as like the getting involved from the medical side of things, I was just kind of at the rink and hearing about some of the injuries and stuff. And I thought, I'm here anyways. I might as well just offer up the help, to Marv, the trainer. And he kind of jumped on the opportunity and said, hey, why don't you go through the Hockey Canada training to become kind of like our backup trainer? And yeah, and the rest is history, I guess.
I think it's so funny that you touched on I'm here anyways, because that is the story for so many people. They're at the rink, they've got some of these boys in their home. Even I said that about the play-by-play. I was like, well, I'm at the game anyways. Like my kids are
Yeah.
at the game anyways. We're here.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for someone in your community who's maybe, kind of like you and thinks that they could help out with the organization, but might be a little intimidated, might think, hockey is sometimes an old boys club, but do you have any advice to get them to jump on board?
Yeah, don't be intimidated. Everybody's great. Everybody's friendly and so thankful for any help that they can get. Everybody's approachable, and helpful. I mean, if you have any questions, everybody's willing to help, really. Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you for your time. And I'm sure Weyburn is very thankful to have you helping them out.
I hope so.